Hello, I'm back again. Here is the next step, and this is the basic functionality for APF-R data and how we work with APR functionality. So I am using a German version of Adobe Creative Cloud for Photoshop and Bridge, so don't be afraid. I will tell everything in English about the naming of the functionalities, so you can do this by your own and you can prepare your own APF-R images. Okay, and I said I will start with, before I start with this galaxy, I just open it with Photoshop. So this is my test image of the M51 Galaxy with my C14, with my FLI 60200. It's only luminance information because the weather was not so good. Then I can take some additional color information or the color information for RGB, and always only 50 times 6 minutes is 90 minutes of luminance information added to this image. And if you work with LRGB data, especially luminance information, some people ask me, is it okay if I do some deconvolution or wavelet technology because I'm using APF-R also for planetary images and moon images? Yes, very, very soft functionality or the very soft sharpening is okay. This is also here a little bit about deconvolution, and this is the final stack of 90 minutes of exposure. So let me explain what I'm doing. So I'm starting here and go and zoom in a little bit into my image. I go here to zoom and zoom in a little bit to my data. So just like here. So I have 200% of the image now, and I want to show you how it works. So the first thing, I go here to my background. Background is the original image you see here, and you can use a shortcut and put it here, or could use the shortcut Control J or the Command J that you copy this to 5 times. So you got 5 copies, and I turn off the first and select the first copy. And what's very important is with APF-R that you do what you do with the first layer here, with the first step is visible in a second, third, in every copy you do. So this is very, very important that you do this very, very precisely. So I go to the filter panel, go to the soft and a blurring filter, go to Gaussian blur filter. Gaussian blur filter, and I'm starting now with 1.5 pixels. Just a second here, go here to a little bit more, about 1, just more, so 1.5, 1.6, okay. So some details about this blurring radio you will find in my additional informations, and it's very important that you choose this very, very soft and very, very precise. So if I go here, you can see I zoom in, it is only a little bit of blurring. 300% of the image file is a little bit, and I say, okay, it's okay. So this is the first thing. If you have short focal length, you can use smaller blur radius depending on the quality of the scene you have for your image, and of course the provided pixel scale of your optical system with your CCD. So until oversampling 2.5, 2.6 is okay with a blur radius under 1.5, 1.6, and is the border. Normally to get, if the oversampling is bigger, you can use a larger scale of blurring with the first layer. But I did an additional image with the same example with a smaller pixel scale for the blurring, and with this original scale I show you now. So okay, I have here my background copy slightly blurred, then I go to my image and go to channel calculation. And then you have to choose some settings. So the first, the source one, is the layer just blurred. So I go here to background copy. Then I choose channel gray for the calculations. Then I go to the source 2. Source 2 means it's always my background. It's always the background. So I go here to background and use always here the gray informations. Then you have to choose subtract for the mode. And you have to add here, maybe you have this here, 0, it's dark. Maybe you have add here to 125. And then at the result, you go here to a new document. So, and then you say, okay, so Photoshop is now creating an alpha channel, extracting only luminance information. And what I do now is I select all and copy it with Command J, Control C, sorry, and go back to the original image and paste it into my image. Then I go here and delete the background copy and set the layer 1 to from normal to soft light. To here this is soft light. So you can see there's something changing only a little bit. So that's very important. If you have here a lot of structure coming out and popping out of the image, so it's too much. So if you do it too less, so it's always a little bit that the result of the APF-R brings not out the full possibility, the full functionality, or the full details that are inside the image. So the next one, I go here, turn on the eye, go to background copy 2, go back to my filter panel, go to the soften filter, to the blurring filter, and Gaussian blur again. And now this value 1.5 is multiplied by 2, so I have 3 pixel blurring. Set OK. And then go back to my image, go to the channel calculation, choose this, and I turn on here to the background copy 2, gray channel for the source 1, source 2 stays the same. It's background and gray mode subtracting, and here is to a new document. So press here OK again, and we have another blurred layer as alpha channel. So I select all, copy it, and then go back to my original image and paste it into the image. What I do now, again as before, I take this, I select the background copy, I just blur it and delete this. So that you remember, after you've done everything, you have to name these layers to the what I do to the pixel scale. This was 1.5. This double clicking on it is 3 pixels. So again, change the layer mode into soft light. Then as you can see, it's getting stronger. This is 200% of the image scale, so a little bit more. So you can see here, this is strong enough. But what I do now, I hit the Alt key on my keyboard and then go between the both, and you can see this the mouse is changing, and now I make a clipping mask between. So I'm pushing the bigger blurred image information into the smaller information. And I go here up, activate the eye, choose the background copy 3, go back to my blurring filter, Gaussian blur filter, and the same as before, multiplied by 2 means 6. Okay. Then go back to my channel calculation of the image I did before and choose again here as layer. Now my just blurred with 6 pixels, and Photoshop did everything around again and said okay, that's fine. And we have here another alpha channel for my sharpening, and you can see there's bringing out more structure in this alpha channel. So I select them all, copy to the clipboard, go back, and paste it into my image with my shortcuts. So choose the blurred layer image with from 6 pixel, delete this with delete on the keyboard, double click on the send and set to 6 pixels. Okay. And change again the layer blend mode from normal into soft light. So soft light, and you can see here it's getting more information. It brings out more information. But again, Alt key, press it on the keyboard and between the images, so you get a mask clipping into the before with 3 pixels, 6 pixels. So what I do now is go here, activating another way of the background copy 4, select this layer, go to my filters, go to my soften filters, go Gaussian blur filter, and multiply by 2 is 12 pixels. Set here, okay. So it's a really blurred information, and I go back to my image and the channel calculations. And I have only to change now again my background copy. Here, select my background copy 4, set OK. So you see a lot of more information coming out and is used for my sharpening procedure. So I select all, copy it into clipboard, and then go back and paste it into my original image. Then I delete my background copy, delete this, go to my layer 1, it's called now layer 1, and go here and say okay to soft light again, and you can see a lot of structures coming. But I hit the Alt key again and go between, so it's getting softer. So double click on it, that you later know about the pixel scale was 12 pixels. And then go up to the last one. The last one, I activate the eye, so it's visible. You can see that's the APF-R, this step APF-R into this point, and this is the image from before. So I go here back to my filter, go to my soften filter, use a Gaussian blur filter again, double size 24 pixels. Set OK. And then I go to my image channel calculation again. And then I choose here my background copy 5 that just blurred with 25 pixels. Set here. Everything stays the same. Create channel, subtract mode, everything, new document. Okay. And I select here, all copy it. And now I want to show you something, and maybe you have a closer look to my histogram. This is a wider information it's used. And then I go to the 12 pixels and the 6 pixels and the 3 pixels. Or this is a 1.5, 3, 6, 12. So it's getting wider and wider and wider. So we're touching a lot of information step by step. I go back to my original one that I can finish this here. I passed it into my original image, go to and select from the layer my background copy that was just blurred. I delete this. I can show it like to the here. Then I go to my blurred layer, I double click on it, I name it for 25. Just here on the tablet here, it's like 25. It's okay. So it's 25. And then I go to this blending mode and say, okay, soft light. And now it's very, very strong. You can see it. And to reduce it, hit the Alt key again. Hit the Alt key again. So just a second. I go here and yes. So now I have this. And to optimize this a little bit more, I can show you some of the next steppings with APF-R. So what I do now that I will optimize the structure, optimize the noise, optimize that it's not working so hard with the stars. I have two possibilities. I said, okay, I'm working on a Wacom tablet, and I have pressure sensitive with building a mask. But before, I want to show you if you want to add every image, every pixel at your image. So you double click here on the first layer, and then it's opening the layer style panel. Layer style panel means that you can now really adjust very precise what part you want to use, how hard it's working. So first I activate here the histogram. So, and I measure now, this is the information, top information of the information is 15. So I know, so it's starting at 15. So I go to the white slider here for the whites, hit the Alt key, and I see there's between a little line. Hit the Alt key, press Alt, and then push and move it, and then go here to the top information, like so, like this. So 20 is okay. You know a little bit about 16 to 20. And then I go to the black point, and then you measure like here up to this about 10. Then I hit the Alt key and took here, and there's a question how far I move this black slider. So I can see here his room starts here, like here 141. So I add 20 pixels, 150 around, 160 around is okay. So I have optimize functionality where the sharpened layers are working. So if I do this, it's softer. But it's only the thing that I did before. This was APF. And this APF-R means that I do something different, something more. So I select now all my blurred layers and go to the filter panel, and here I go to the convert to a smart filter. Yes. So now it's converting this 5 layers into one. It's a smart object. You can double click on a smart object and open it again, but now it's a big difference. This is a part of APF-R. Then I go to my layers, go to my smart object, go to stable mode, and then I choose here median. So now it's normalizing with a medium functionality. I'm processing my blurred layers as I before, and then I go here and said, okay, go back to soft light. So I have here my softened median layer for this. I can open here my icon, so the small arrow, this is called median. But it's not finished yet, so I'm going back to my keyboard and hit Command and J 1 time 2. So I have copied now my median layer. So I turn off the first eye and I select the next one. What I'm doing now is that I go to my medium layer again, go to my smart object panel, stable mode, and choose here maximum. So maximum is for the big details around. So it's around all the information. And what I'm doing is I'm activating another eye, so like this here, and then I go to the layer and again to my smart object, go stable mode, and use here minimum. So now you have combined 3 layers. So the master one is my median layer here, and inside my layer there are my 5 blurred layers you can see above. Then this is my maximum layer for the maximum information. You can see it here like this. So, and my minimum layer like this. What I'm doing now is again hit the Alt key and go between these 2 layers and mode and to the next this one. So like this. So my maximum layer and my minimum layer are pushed through my median layer. So this is a little bit softer, still a lot of details, a bunch of information. And now you have 2 possibilities. The first thing is I showed before, double click for the layer style panel, double click on it. And then you can measure your histogram information that you say, okay, just calculate. So this is the maximum is 16. So I slide here, starting a little bit before for 15, 12 to 15 maybe. That it's starting not at the background. And then we have 160 before. I think it stays the same, so I press the Alt key, go here and open 160 pixels, 160 values. So okay, then the same as before, I measure my information top here like this to 15. As before, I had the Alt key and press here for the whites, go down here to this 15, 16. It's okay. Set okay. So you have still all the layers here. So the median, the maximum, the minimal layer. You can turn it on off. So it's a little bit looking more natural. And for this step, you can do different blend modes. To explain this is that I can go here and change here to hard light. And go here and change this also to hard light. So it's getting a little bit. And that's the reason, that's the point, it's getting a little bit more structure. Or I choose this to bright light, so it's bringing out more. So there's a lot of functionality. Or go to the median layer and change this here to in copy. So it's getting stronger. You can see this. So if I go here to this, say here not bright light, I go here to soft light back, and I go here to soft light again. Is always a little bit different as before, so you can really optimize everything. We are working on the whole image. If you look to the stars here and a small here, if I turn it on off, it's a little bit. If you don't want to do this, I go to my state before again. I go here to the history and I choose here a mask mode, and then I invert with Ctrl I, Command I, my mask. Then I choose a brush, and I can now draw with my Wacom. I activate the pressure sensitive, so I can make the size, and you can really work with your Wacom tablet very precisely, and you can change the size with different pressures. So what I do now, I say the normal way is like now I'm drawing my sharpening to my image. So I think it's a very nice way. So this is a way that you can sharpen your image, you bring out information, and you have a lot of possibilities, because also double click here on the layer style panel, and then you say, okay, layer style panel, you can see I'm moving the blacks, you can see what's happening. You're moving the black slider and go down again to 0, or moving the white slider, and you can see what the bright. So you can mixture your sharpening inside of these steppings. The layer blend mode into hard, you can look here, it will push a lot of information. So this is very interactive with your image, especially with your data. So, and remember, I just my last layer that I uploaded was 24 pixels. 24 pixels is like this galaxy. So if I'm multiply by 2, I get to 48 pixels blur radius. So I'm touching really the background. I show this with another image I got from a speaker. I'm very proud, and I can show this to you in one of the other images. But this is a stepping about APF-R, so everything is combined to these smart objects. So I use for the first one my fifth layer that are blurred, fifth layer as a 15 layers here inside, and I combine it, I can mix them to get really the sharpening or the details and the information out of the image, and I can really control it. And especially the median layer is always the first layer above my original image, so you can get out the best result. Of course, I also tried other layer blend modes for the smart objects. Here again, for my smart objects, there are different possibilities that you can use, but I think this is a very good way for a lot of images, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.